TK.
Here's the thing about that. Sorry to just jump in, but I figured we'd continue the conversation. Lou Will got in trouble during the bubble for going to Magic City in Atlanta and for the wings. Lou Williams, I'm sorry, is an unserious player. He is a great six man. He is a walking bucket. But he is not a player truly that moves the needle on a championship team. And his head is in the wrong place as it relates to being a professional basketball player. Also, secondarily, I didn't even comment about this online because I wanted to talk about it here. Secondly, you're on the road 41 games a year. There's all kinds of places for you to go. You're barely even in your home city. Let's not act like Sacramento is Milwaukee. It's not. It's not Milwaukee. Nobody's slandering Milwaukee like they slander Sacramento. I had never been to Sacramento until I came to see you guys twice last year. I have found this is going to make the chatty house go a little poppin', but I have found myself going on hot pads multiple times to see what's up in Sacramento for housing. It's a great spot. West Coast, close to everything, hour and a half away from San Francisco, in and out. Airport's one of the best in the business. LA right there. Portland, where I'm from, right there. Vegas right there. And it's more affordable than some of the other places. It's a little less affordable than I thought, which is a testament to how good Sacramento is. Weather is impeccable. The climate is good. Like, I actually love I love Sacramento.
We love you.
We do. And that's why everybody should head over to DeloandKC.com right now and get the new Trysta Krick hoodie available at this moment for 30% off. There's multiple different designs here.
I like this
for TK. Yeah, this one's kind of fire. We've got association.
I love the crew neck.
We got crew necks in here. There we go.
Yeah.
We got crew necks.
That's
in
high
here.
quality right there.
Yeah,
Look at that purple one.
Yeah, look at
Yeah.
that.
The purple one go hard.
So I gotta tell a story about this.
Did you notice the pause button?
I loved it. I
okay,
absolutely
just
loved
make sure
it.
you see the pause button.
So I was talking to my mom on the phone like 2 hours ago. And I'm like, oh my God, I saw the tweet. I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. I'm on the phone with her and I'm like, yeah, D'Lo and Casey, they ended up putting a sweatshirt out with my name. It's like dope. The branding's awesome. It's like the King's cursive, but it's Krick. And this bitch says, well, they at least know that they have one customer. And I go, excuse me? She made it sound like that the reason is not because, hey, Trysta, you connect with the audience. Like, the chatty house loves you. You've become ingrained with this local market. Like, that's freaking dope. Like, awesome that they decided to do this. Like, she acted like it was the entire, like, there was like some sort of benefit that I would just buy all the sweatshirts with my name on them for my family and friends, like an egomaniac. And she was like, well, they expect you to buy probably every color and every size. And I was like, no, they think that the fans, like, do you think I'm a scrub? Like, do you think I'm just like somebody that they pity? That they think they're getting $60 times how many of her sweatshirts? I'm just going to pass them out for the holidays? Who are you? And she was like, I was like, you might be the most cynical human I've ever met. Like, that's where your brain immediately went to. This is effed up, Mom. Like, this is actually, I can't do this, Trysta. If you're going to parse my words, I just can't. I'm like, no, you said that, though. You made it seem like the only human on earth that's going to buy this shirt is me. That's insane.
Hilarious. She said, you think I'm a scrub? Oh, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause so much angst between you and your mother.
amazing. That's her. She believes that, like, no, I could be making 10 million a year. This is the example I was telling to my friend right before I came on. I could be like Michael Strahan level. Like, I have, not suits, but like I have a clothing line. And she'd be like, JC Penney, that's all right. Like, you can't get it in the sacks. Like shows everybody. Like the quality of your stuff is JC Penney. Mom, are you serious right now?
Well, hopefully we don't have to go through the same thing that this person went through in all seriousness. But isn't that what happened with Biggie's mom? She didn't realize he was Biggie until she drove through Brooklyn for the funeral.
Oh, yeah.
She was like, yeah, I knew my son was famous, but I didn't really grasp it until Brooklyn was the way it was when for his funeral. So, like I said, hopefully we don't have to go there.
Let's hope we don't have to drive Trysta through Portland for mom
like
to
just
figure
a
it out.
Nipsey Hussle level procession.
Driving Trysta all around Portland. Dame
We got like
Lillard on the
floats
stoop.
and like, maybe I could do a little like a little misdemeanor and I get locked up and the streets can go wild for me when I go to jail for 14 days. I don't think I could make it 14 days, to be honest.
We don't need any of it.
We don't need that.
By the way, it must be sunny because Casey says he's doing the tropical today. Blue.
And the sun is out, but it's cold.
Blue and yellow. That tells me it's a nice day.
It's cold, man. I'm just trying to stay warm.
He fashion first. Y'all know what it is.
Come on, man. Look at the guy. Look at this guy. Stop.
Steelo and KC on KIFM West Sacramento, 98.5 FM, KRX QHD2 Sacramento, ESPN 1320, always live on the free Odyssey app. Trysta Krick sharing troubles with her mother.
Real quick. Everyone in the chatty house, if you buy those sweatshirts, tag them on Twitter and be like, this is for Mama Krick. There is demand for this sweatshirt. Mama Krick. It's not just her. It's us.
I do know some have already sold. I'm pretty sure Joe already bought his. He bought a shirt that said "Smash Them Boys" on it. I'm sure he bought that.
That was wild. Shirt. That was wild. Shout out Delivery Joe. That was wild.
TK, we were having a conversation. Your boy Shams Charania was talking yesterday about the Kings being a trade destination. It's kind of where the Lou Williams thing came from. And mentioned three names: Zach LaVine, OG Anunoby, and Pascal Siakam. I think we know, especially given today's gift to promote the show, how you feel about Zach LaVine. But what about the other two? If you could pick one of those two Toronto Raptors to be a Sacramento King, which one would it be?
I think it would be OG. I like them both. Mm-hmm. I think there's interesting roles for both of them to have. Pascal probably has higher upside. We saw what he could be in 2019 when he played with Kawhi, how his role was there. His usage rate is all the way down. How they're using him in Toronto is very suspicious. I think they're trying to box him out, right? I don't think he stays. They didn't want to extend him. I was talking to somebody who covers the Toronto Raptors quite closely, an analytics guy. Check the podcast. That interview was really, really good. He kind of broke down some very key things about what's going on over there. But I think that he was going to sign for the max, not even super max. It was like, whatever, just pay me the max money and I'll stay. And they were like, no, we're not even going to offer you that. We're going to let you go to free agency for nothing. So I think he's probably the most available. I think he probably fits better with Keegan because he plays a little bit of a different role than OG. OG's defensively is just so good, though. And he's really good in catch and shoot three scenarios, whereas Pascal is a little bit more spotty. I think production-wise, Pascal is a little bit of a roller coaster. But we saw the other day, I think he had 30, 11, and 2 steals against the Wizards. I know it is the Wizards, and they're defensively a sieve. But we know what Pascal can be. I think consistency-wise, I like OG. I like his defense. I think the fit might be better for Pascal. But I'm kind of like, they're like 50-50 the same to me.
Yeah, I went with Siakam, and it wasn't even really a diss towards OG. I feel like I value OG a little less than most people do. But I think he's a great ball player. I just like Siakam. I mean, I've seen Siakam, and he may not be the same player, but in the highest moments, be one of the 2 or 3 best players on the court, in those NBA finals against the Warriors. And, you've seen him in other situations. There was times when Kawhi left when it was like, all right, well, now Siakam's number 1. He's not going to be able to hold up. And it looked like that for a little while. And then he got his game together and he started cooking for a little while. So, and he's not even going to be asked to be number 1 here. I like Siakam a little bit better, but OG, if they got OG, there's a bunch of benefits to that too.
I think OG will get paid more too.
Mm.
OG's going to get a big bag. Big bag. I like Caruso the most though.
Caruso.
Really? Over the 2 Raptors?
I think he's just on a better contract situation. That's really it. Like monetarily, I think a backup point guard, or you could play him. Think about him and Fox together in the backcourt, and maybe you move Harrison, and then it's Caruso, Fox, Herder, Keegan, Sabonis. I think defensively you become really good. Maybe you could think that Keegan's a little undersized at that position, but it's still interesting to me. And like you have another sure-handed ball handler outside of Fox so that you can't really trap Fox. And he's a good three-point shooter now. And his on-ball defense is so good. So you get the on-ball defense of Davion, but you get more offensive production, and you get him at a really inexpensive price. OG and Pascal Siakam are going to be quite expensive.
True. Very true.
This is a conversation we were having earlier, and it's could get louder, could get quieter, depending on how the next couple of weeks go. But does Davion Mitchell fit here in Sacramento?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's getting hard to have confidence that he does.
I love Davion. You guys know how I feel about Davion.
I know.
I've got like a soft spot for him too,
But he started to register DMPs, and we've been waiting for this thing with him and Mike to like meet and form like this superpower. And it's not happening.
I think it's less about him fitting with the talent on the team than it is him fitting with what Mike wants to do and what Mike is valuing. So I think roster-wise, he does fit. We saw him play really well against Steph Curry, right? He was locking Steph up game 1, game 2. We were sitting next to each other, standing next to each other, very impressed. His on-ball defense, he was getting into Steph's space, making everything difficult for him. Steph had a horrible shooting night. I think it was game 1. And that was Day-Day, right? He had some really big threes. He had some critical drives into the lane. So I think he fits, but I don't know with the additions that they've made whether he's getting squeezed out. And I don't love that for him personally. And I think he could probably do more than the role that he has, but I don't think he's going to get that opportunity.
And that's fair. I mean, I feel the same way that you do about Davion and his potential fit here in Sacramento, but it may be a situation, and this is what we talked about when I said, this guy is going to be in every trade discussion because that shit may have sailed, regardless of if he can fit or not. He may not get the opportunity at this point. They've moved on with Keon, Duarte, Kobe Jones, or whatever the case may be.
The Keon is really the part that's killing him. That's the part. That's the part.
I smell what you're cooking. I know.
What do you mean by that? Elaborate. What do you mean the Keon part is killing it?
It's just if Keon doesn't exist on this team, and Keon's had some good games too, and he's looked really good, and production wise, and he's getting starts, and you're like, ooh, Keon's getting starts. Oh no, Davion. Like Keon, that's the immediate thing. And I'm sure Kings fans feel this way too, Eric. You're like, Keon in the starting lineup, like if I'm Davion, I'm like, what the? You're texting your friends, like, are you serious?
Yeah.
And then he plays well, and you're like, angry face emoji. You're happy to see your teammates do well, and you're happy to see the team succeed in general. but we're all individuals here, and we've got mouths to feed, whether that's our own, whether that's family members, whether that's people we love. We've got a career to build. And Keon does not help Davion's career in Sacramento at all.
Yeah. I mean, to elaborate on what Trysta's saying, like, obviously I haven't talked to Davion, but I can imagine that happens. He's like, yo, I destroy this guy every time we play.
He's a
And,
two-way player.
and he's starting, you're going to start him over me?
This is, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Right. So.
And I love you guys know how I feel about I love Davion. And like Davion is a dude. As a dude, he's about as good as it comes. He is so solid. I see him out. I walked by inside Summer League, and I'm walking across the court. I don't see him. He sees me. He jogs up, grabs my arm, and he's like, "What's up? Like, where you been at? What's been happening with your life? Like, where are you? Like, what's been new? I just wanted to say hi. Like, you're gonna come by and not say anything. Like, he's just a solid person. Out, like athletes, they have their own. There's a median morality code for professional athletes, right? Like, there's an ego to this. Every entertainment industry has a median ego. He just does not have that. I hate to see this for him.
Yeah, and I want to say this to be fair to Keon, whatever it is that Mike was looking for, he executed it.
Yep.
And he's had his opportunity, regardless how it came up, and he's taking advantage of it. So I hope he gets well soon, just in general. But because of that, like, he got a two-way guy, undrafted, be a pro player. I think undrafted guy got his opportunity.
Tremendous story, amazing story. He's perfect for the Rando report, but can't do it to Davion, so he doesn't make it. Sorry, I have my limits.
Are you buying this level of play from Minnesota yet?
Yes, I am. I just recorded the podcast. And did you guys see that? Sorry for everyone who's listening on the radio, but I got to pay this off for the YouTube folks. Did you guys see where Cat was like into the body, just bam, just dunked. I'm like, this is what you should do every single possession that you're in the paint, Cat. Put your caboose and your back into the man behind you, pause, and dunk on his face.
I believe what she was saying is, you can do it, put your back into it. I believe that's what she was.
You can do it, put your into it.
Yeah.
Gonna do it.
So just to be clear, you draw the line at ass. Like, you're gonna call your mom a bitch on the show. We draw the line at ass.
Sometimes I forget which ones are on and off limits.
No,
so I just if my brain doesn't say green, which it says green a lot.
Yeah.
If my brain doesn't say green in the moment, then I just don't do it.
Is Cat now the secret to this whole thing working? Because if Anthony Edwards is established as the dude, if Karl Anthony Towns is right there and this is now a duo, is he the key to making this whole thing?
Hold on, man. I'll give my flowers, man. Give my flowers. I've been saying Cat. I was talking crazy about Cat.
Who's y'all?
Everybody
crazy about
what? You always say y'all, like, you were talking crazy about Cat.
I've said Cat was a bitch forever.
There we go.
Forever. I even said it today. He just looks less bitchish now than he did before. And I think that's a product of who you're around. Anthony Edwards is no joke. He is a hard rock. Pause. So you're not going to be able to pull that bitch stuff around him. You can say that. I know FCC allows that one.
It's like that scene in Old School where he's like, you don't have to celebrate it. Like, put the earmuffs on. Sorry, Bruce or Bruce's parents. You guys are listening.
I think culturally, but Chris Finch has found a way offensively and defensively for all these dudes to mesh. I still don't understand how the spacing is working, but it is. Naz Reid has been really good. McDaniels has been good. Mike Conley, actually, I think is the key. Mike Conley is he's on an expiring. He's going to get paid again because he's setting everybody up. He's the pass first point guard that they got, that they had in Tyus a while ago. And he, I think, is the connective tissue to everybody's mouth getting fed. Pause.
Only 30. Wow, you are having a day today. Mike Conley.
Last week was a little too tame for the chatty.
I agree. Everyone noticed too. Like Trysta was a little reserved today.
We got shirts to sell now.
Come on, baby. Tell Mama Krick it's not just me.
Bitches is definitely the next design we're gonna have to make.
Yeah. Krick's mom.
I was trying to think when that Ohio State championship game was, because that feels like a long time ago. Mike Conley's 36 years old.
Yeah,
he's literally my age. He's like slightly younger than me. He's gonna continue to get his dough. He is. And they might be. Here's the thing that's interesting about Minnesota. Is A-Rod about it? How much does him and homie from Walmart, forget Mark Lowry, want to go into the luxury tax? Because that's what they're going to need to do. In a small market with guys getting paid a lot of money, you had Ant Edwards' Supermax deal. You had Naz Reid getting paid a lot of money for a backup center. He's been awesome. McDaniels' contract is about to set in as well. I mean, you're talking about $80 million into the luxury tax. A lot of money. That's what it's going to take for these guys to stay together, which is great because they're the number 1 seed in the West right now. So that's something that you could say is encouraging in terms of, hey, we should not shed salary and we shouldn't make trades because this is now starting to gel. And man, they've been really fun too. Just really fun. Real quick, secondarily, this is a total aside. I think, this is my bold prediction. OKC is going to the Western Conference Finals this year.
They look good. They look like a good squad.
Complete.
Yeah. They look like a real good squad. I wouldn't be surprised with that at all. Look, I had a tweet the other day that had, Warrior fans and Laker fans all uptight about it. But I
bitchish,
said,
I believe it was
bitchish. A little in their feels, a little bitchish.
Definitely in their feels. I said the Kings, and I didn't even look at the standings at the time. I didn't realize they were at the time top 4. I was like Kings, Timberwolves, Nuggets, Thunder. It's the start of a new era in the Western Conference. Now, that doesn't mean the Warriors and the Lakers are going to go away this year or nothing like that. But it's also like LeBron, yeah, he's superhuman, but he ain't going to play forever. And he's not going to lead the Lakers to the 1 seed forever. Steph Curry not going to play forever. Like it's the dawn of a new era. And when you talk about the rosters, when you talk about the players, De'Aaron, Ant-Man, Jokic, SGA, these are the players of the next generation. These are the players of the next era. And they just so happen to be on those teams.
I agree. It's fun. This is the most. There's not that many teams that I don't want to watch on a night-to-night basis. It's the Knicks. They're horrible to watch. It's the Heat. They're horrible to watch.
You do not like the Heat.
No. That's kind of it. The Warriors right now are a tough watch as well. You're just watching for Steph.
Yeah.
Our Dubs. Hate to see it.
A little bit of a calamity. Hey, real quick. No, go ahead. My bad.
I think we might have been going the same direction.
What?
You want to weigh in on the Angel Reese situation?
Oh yeah. This is nuts. I tell you what. Which part about it do you want me to weigh in?
All of it, because we really haven't. I knew how you felt about this, so we kind of went through yesterday. Obviously, yesterday was when the Kings were winners, so it was very easy to talk about the Kings for basically the bulk of yesterday. And I knew in the back of my head, save this Angel Reese thing for when Trysta's with us, because I know you've got a lot to fire off about this. We were texting over the weekend. Angel Reese is not with LSU right now, and there seems to be a lot of conversation as to why she's not. And now you've got mothers of players going at it on social media, and then you've got the Kim Mulkey factor. And these situations follow Kim Mulkey everywhere she goes. And everyone chooses to look the other way because she wins championships. But these situations with Black players follow her every destination she's been at.
Yeah, it's the whole thing's very strange. One, you have Angel Reese, skyrocketing into the limelight, really like getting to host the, like hosting awards for the ESPYs. She's in Cardi B videos. She is a legit celebrity. So I don't know if it's true, but there's been some rumors that she wanted to take LSU classes online because of the level of celebrity that she is right now. I don't know if that's true because you have Joe Burrow, you have Jamar Chase, you have Justin Jefferson. They were all at the height of their celebrity and they continue to go to class. So that's one thing. Two, LSU wasn't that good of a team last year. They weren't. They just weren't. They were squeaking by. They almost lost to Louisville in like a 47-49 game, right? So it's not like LSU with South Carolina now. South Carolina should have won the title, and they would have mollywopped LSU if South Carolina would have played them. You had LSU win in a dominant fashion against Caitlin Clark, and so the spotlight on those two teams were the highest that they possibly could have been. And Caitlin Clark represented white America, and Angel Reese was representative of like a true, authentic, unapologetic Black community. And that became polarizing in its own right. There were people who stand for Caitlin Clark, and there were people that were standing for Angel Reese and Flau J, who I also love. So that made it ugly in its own way. Then you have Joe Biden saying, oh, well, Iowa should also come to the White House. But the thing that's crazy to me is the discourse around women's basketball, especially around LSU. It has become, if you look at my comments on TikTok and on Instagram, there are so many people saying so many ugly things about Angel Reese. And I have no idea why. It doesn't make any sense to me because she has fake eyelashes. I have fake eyelashes. I told you I spent $400 on these. She just has them a little longer than mine.
Please buy Trysta's shirt. It goes to fund her eyelashes.
You know what you guys should do is put the eyelashes above the eye, above the pod.
Here we go.
Anyway, so you've got that. The whole thing around Angel Reese not being with the team is strange too because she can't be academically ineligible. I was talking to a friend of mine that's a professor, former professor at Xavier, and he was like, she can't be academically ineligible in fall as the term is not even over with yet. She's probably just finished midterms. The only way that she would be academically away from the team is if she failed or was below a 2.0 in the spring term, which means she couldn't have played not one game, but she did. She played 2 games, she got benched, and now she's away from the team. It feels like some sort of institutional, like, ice out. Maybe she doesn't want to be there. Maybe she's fighting with Kim Mulkey. Kim Mulkey won't talk about it. Now you have parents saying, oh, well, Angel Reese has got below a 2.0. You have Flo J's mom talking to Angel Reese's mom. The whole thing is bonkers. And it is spelling a stinky, stinky LSU season if I've ever seen one. Haley Van Lith has got to be like, why did I do this? Why did I decide to come to this team? And you're right. Kim Mulkey has problems. Wherever she goes, she ends up winning. And so that ends up getting all glossed over. But to me, and the COVID remarks that Kim Mulkey made at her presser was like, oh, I don't have allergies. I might be sick. I probably have COVID, but I'm not testing. I can't stand this program, and it has nothing to do with the players on it. It has everything to do with the top and how vile, racist, sexist comments go along with LSU basketball. It needs to effing stop.
Yeah, Mulkey essentially getting a pass for her treatment of Brittany Griner to me is one of the most bizarre things I've ever seen in sports. Like and I'm not talking about Brittany Griner, the prisoner in Russia. I'm talking about Brittany Griner, the student at the student at Baylor.
Yeah. She was like, yeah, you'll probably not be around our team anymore. We're probably not going to see you anymore. And it's like, what? Yeah, like you'll probably be busy.
She was under strict, don't discuss your sexuality. Do not walk around in short sleeve shirts to show off your tattoos. Be covered up at all times. And, Baylor's a different institution. So that stuff, I guess you could get away with. But the fact that no one ever looked sideways at her has always baffled me.
Yeah.
Always baffled me.
Yeah. And it's tough to even sound like I'm defending Kim Mulkey because she's a shady character. But I just know when everything was going on over the summer, just looked from an Angel, and I was like, I hope she's still realizing, like, wow, this is happening. It's your basketball game. Like, you got a lot going on right now, and I
Mhm.
hope you get even more. But don't forget the reason why all this is happening is because you're an all-American type basketball player. And some of the
1000%.
things some of the things I'm hearing is the superstardom may have superseded the basketball player, and that may be some of the friction. I don't know. We don't know any of this stuff. I hate to hear this stuff about Flo J and her mom
That
and
stuff's gonna
Angel's mom.
happen.
Like, that's all of it was bad to me. All of it is bad.
And I feel like this. Sorry, TK, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I think what's interesting to me though, and you're right. Like my first instinct too is like, and I own many popularity, fame. You got to keep the main thing, which is the hoops, right? But when guys do the same thing, we don't like do that. The energy around women's basketball as athletes, as famous celebrities, we just treat women athletes differently than we do college like male athletes when they like Caleb Love, for example, like he fell off. I mean, when male athletes, college athletes get famous and they don't think about basketball, we just kind of like, yeah, it's fine, like, yeah. But it's kind of a different standard to a degree, I think, as well.
I understand what you're saying. To be fair to all them, I don't think anybody in the NIL area has been as famous as Angel Reese was. And it wasn't like under the table Reggie Bush stuff. It was like, nope, I can sign this deal with Reebok and be in Times Square. I can I can do all that. I can be everywhere. And I don't know if there's been a college athlete in this 2-3 year era that's been as famous as Angel Reese has. And I'd have the same concerns if I don't know, some UCLA player had the same, issues. Like, hey, I know you're doing a lot out here. You work on your game today. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't forget that. So Angel's been, you talk about Caleb Love, more famous than any men's basketball player I could think of right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation. I don't know how it comes to a conclusion, but I feel like we're going to start seeing a lot more of these. And this is you could call this the upside or the downside. I don't know how you feel about this. She's not with her team, so in that sense, it's a downside. But this is NIL. This is these young athletes now being multimillionaires, and the fact that the old guard are still their coaches, they resent that. Like Kim Mulkey went to LSU on a monster multi-million-dollar deal. And one season later, now all of a sudden you have a player who's a massively bigger star than you are. That's a problem for her.
Yep.
That's going to be a problem for, I know she's everybody's darling. That's a problem for the coach in South Carolina. She just moves about it differently. And that's what we're going to be facing in college sports. This is going to happen in football. This is going to happen in basketball. This is going to happen across sports because now you have, let's see what happens when Arch is making what, like $2, $3, $4, $5, $10 million.
Yeah.
Like he making big time money. We'll see how his relationship is with his coach next year.
But you talk about the old guard. See, that's where I think Don ain't the old guard though. Don, I don't
Don's
believe
not the old guard. I think Don gets painted right now as something that she's not.
True, but
she has a problem with some of this stuff too.
She has a problem with some of the stuff, but it's rooted in the process. I think Kim Mulkey is rooted in jealousy. There's a difference to me. Like Kim want to be the star.
Don, that's facts. Yeah,
Don
that's facts.
wants them like, no, when I was handling, this is how you handle business. Like I got some of that. Like, yo, this is too much. What I say about the kids playing at Golden One Center. It's like, bro, why are they playing at Golden One Center at 10? Like, this is something that you're supposed to like work up for years. Like, you shouldn't be giving this at 9 years old. I think that's more Don. Kim Mulkey just like, I don't like it because I'm not the superstar. And I think there's two different things.
She is very loud with it. Like all the outfits and, who she is very like me. And Dawn is, she's doing endorsements for like slides, it's just a totally different thing. I love Dawn. I think she's the best in the business. I wanted her to coach the Blazers when they interviewed her. She would have been a phenomenal first female NBA coach, and she wouldn't have turned it down. But yeah, you're right. I think it's going to become a problem. And I think the main concern of a university is how do we support our players to make it easier for them to balance those two things, the celebrity, the money, and continuing to work on the craft and like easing that transition as much as possible, whether that's like giving them guidance, giving them people to help manage their schedule, because otherwise it's just going to become a mess.
Caitlin was on with the Mannings last night.
Oh, really?
Called that
Yeah.
Travis Kelce one.
Yeah, yeah,
Touchdown.
she was out there with the man. That was a funny line. I think they had Mike Vick on when this happened, but they did the punch out fumble.
Mhm.
Peyton was like, "Oh, he punched it out. He says he punched with the left hand," and Eli's just under. You've never punched anything. I don't know why that made me laugh, but it did. He's like, you never punched anything. Stop it.
No, neither has Eli.
Probably not. I just thought I thought the line was funny. Peyton was just somewhere the game before. They showed him on the sideline. He was just on the sideline of a game before. I can't remember which one it was.
Was he Tennessee, Georgia? Did they play last week?
No, he was at an NFL game.
Oh, okay.
He might have been at Tennessee, Georgia. He's God in Knoxville. TK, we appreciate you. We love you. This is the Trysta we're here for. This one right here. The vibe
Can't be every single song on the LP EP cannot be a banger. Sometimes we gotta get into the weeds on just basketball. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look at her. Spoken like a true Drake fan right there. Spoken like a true Drake fan. Love you, homie. We appreciate you. Thank you.
Love you guys. I got to get out to a game. We got to choose one.
I was thinking about that. You don't have to go to work, do you? Because we went really long.
Of course I do. They don't let me take days off. Are you serious? No.
They just know on Tuesday she's coming in really, really late.
I tell them, I say Tuesdays are a very busy day for me. The vibe is off when I do D-Lo and Casey at the office. We already know it's way too corporate Krick. So you're just going to have to allow me to come in like 20 minutes before the show. I already know what it is. Play some bets, sweat some bets, talk about some BS.
It's feast week this week. You have to watch.
Oh, do you think we're talking about feast week? No, we're not talking about feast week. Even though I'd love to.
You guys talk about everything that involves.
No, I know, but I don't control the show, Casey. I'm not in charge. You know.
You talk about this Florida State Colorado line.
Oh, I do like Florida State. They're playing well. College basketball is here. I'm very, very excited for it. Arkansas looks good. See what happens with them. UConn's a dark horse.
If I just go silent long enough, TK will just start spewing out lines, just like off of memory, like betting lines and basketball, college.
Someone's keeping the main thing, boys. Fame's not getting to me, even though my mom thinks I'm just a scrub.
Well,
she thinks I'm a two-way player.
Oh no!
Oh man!
No, she probably thinks I'm a 10-day. I'm just like the Drew Eubanks of the Portland Trailblazers, just getting spot starts.
He's doing a good job for Phoenix, to be honest with you.
Great.
Yeah, he is.
Two-way guy.
I think leading the team in steals as well. 1.6 steals per game. Stats.
Well, everyone who goes to DLoandKC.com and buys the Trysta Krick hoodie, just make sure you tag Trysta on social media so she can show her mom.
That's right.
Yep.
Then you can text me mom's address, and I'll send her some Trysta.
I will make sure to do that.
All right, TK, love you. We'll talk to you later.
Love you guys. Talk to you soon.